Hey there tech fans, Rick here again from the OREI team with an overview of the UHD-402MV 4K Video Matrix Switcher. This product was designed to make it incredibly easy for you to share the output from 4 different HDMI media devices with 2 high-resolution or ultra-high-resolution monitors at the same time, while still providing complete control over which of those media devices are being displayed on those monitors at any given time by using the buttons on the front of the unit, the included remote control, or through an RS-230 connection to your computer. The product fully supports 4K ultra-high definition media content and is both HDMI 2.0b and HDCP 2.2 compliant. It even provides audio extraction capabilities for both of the outputs at the same time. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a brief unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the actual switcher itself, and I'll explain the connections and indicators. I'll list the features and functions the product provides, and then finally I'll come back and do a quick demonstration to show you just how simple this product will be to use with your own equipment. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the switcher. You'll find a single power supply. You can plug that into a wall outlet. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it with a locking collar, which plugs into the DC port of the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. You'll also find a bracketing kit you can use to mount this up off the ground and out of the way, as well as an infrared receiver. And this is important because if you want to use the remote control and this is on top of a cabinet, you'll be just fine. But if you put this inside of a wiring closet or inside of a cabinet, you can actually plug this into the back of the unit and locate the receiver outside of the cabinet so you can still use the infrared remote control. Also included is a wiring block. If you decide you want to control this from your computer, you can wire this up through that block and plug it into the back and have direct control from a PC. Finally, you'll find a warranty card and a full instruction manual also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, control signals you'll need to send it if you're using the RS-232 control, and a whole lot of other good information about how this product operates. So always read through the manual to make sure you get the best value out of the product. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll list the features and functions, and then I'll come back and do the demonstration. The OREI UHD-402MV features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable and really the perfect solution for both residential and commercial installations. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape and keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. You'll also find mounting holes on either side that can be used with the included bracketing kit to mount the product up off the ground and out of the way. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a power button, and that's used to turn the unit on and off by simply tapping that button. Now, once you add power to the unit and turn it on, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking all the electronics to make sure everything is working okay. And once it passes that test, it'll light the power indicator, letting you know it's ready to use. To the right of that are 4 LEDs labeled output number 1 and 4 LEDs labeled output number 2. And these indicate which of the inputs is currently being sent to that output. To the right of that are a collection of 3 buttons for output number 1 and a group of buttons for output number 2. If you want to choose which of the inputs is being sent to output number 1, you can tap this button right here and it'll actually move from 1 to 2 to 3 and then back to 1. And the same for output number 2 by tapping that button. You also have the choice of putting both of these outputs in multi-view mode by tapping this button for output number 1 and this button for output number 2. Finally, you can adjust the resolution individually for each of your monitors by tapping this button right here. So you can vary the resolution on output number 1 by tapping that button and output number 2 by tapping that button. On the bottom of the unit are 4 rubber feet that are designed to protect the surface you set this down on. They also keep it from sliding around when you're tapping the buttons on the front. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left, you'll find 2 output groups, output number 1 and output number 2. And this is where you'll connect your monitor for output number 1, and you have 2 audio choices, RCA stereo or optical SPDIF for output number 1 and output number 2. There are also 4 input connectors. These are full-sized HDMI connectors, and you'll plug a cable in from here to whatever media device you'd like to share with these 2 outputs. To the right of that is an RS-232 connection block. You can actually make your decisions on which input is sent to which output over an RS-232 connected directly to a computer, and that's where you'll make that connection. There's also an infrared blaster connection right here that you can use the infrared remote control to make those decisions as well. And then finally, there's a DC input port right here that's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that into any standard wall outlet. The other end of that cable has a barrel connector on it with a locking collar that you can plug in here and finger tighten the collar so it doesn't fall out. The OREI UHD-402MV is compatible with a wide range of modern media sources, including computer systems, streaming devices, DVD players, game consoles, and media players like Roku. The product's features include full support of 4K ultra-high definition media content. It offers connections for 4 inputs and 2 output devices. It is both HDMI 2.0B as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant. It provides audio extraction capabilities and also includes an infrared remote and allows for control over an RS-232 connection as well. Now I'll show you just how easy it'll be to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I've set up 4 small media players. 3 of them are displaying different images, and the 4th one is looping a video just to show you that you can mix and match different devices on the 4x2 switcher. Over here I've set up 2 monitors as my output devices. Here's where I'd like to enjoy the content from these media devices. In front of me, I have the 4x2 switcher. Now the first set of connections I'll make are from my media devices to the switcher, and I've got 4 high-speed cables already connected up to the devices, and I'll plug those in input number 1, input number 2, input number 3, and finally input number 4. And once I've made those connections, I'm all set to connect my output devices. I have 2 more high-speed HDMI cables connected over here, and I'll plug those into my output number 1 and output number 2. And now that I've made all those connections, we're ready to add power. I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it with a collar that locks. I'm going to plug that into the DC input port on the back of the unit. Now the minute I add power to the product, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking the electronics. It's also checking the resolution of my input devices and the resolution of my output displays to make whatever adjustments are needed to give me the best possible picture. And that takes a second or two, and there you go. We're looking at 2 of the inputs on the monitors currently. Now I'm going to use the remote control because it's really easy to switch between these. So let me switch between the top one. There's the input number 2. There's the video. Input number 3, and right back to the first one. Now I'll go to the second monitor. I'll do the same. So you can see you can mix and match any of the input devices on any of the output devices at any given moment just by tapping that button. Now if I go into multi-screen mode, you'll see that it'll actually divide the screen and show 2 different images at the same time. I can go to the next version of that where they're side by side. Now if you had a bigger monitor, that would look fantastic. I'll move to the next one. And that'll put a large one and a small one. And then there's one more where it shows 3 different screens at the same time. So you can see the video is displaying and 2 of the other images. And then I'm again displaying different images in that screen. So you've got a lot of different choices in multi-screen mode, which makes it really easy to display all of your inputs at the same time. Now imagine if those inputs were security cameras that had HDMI outputs, you could see all 4 of those security cameras on the same monitor. And if it was a nice big monitor, you'd have crystal clear images of whatever was going on in front of those security cameras. But the beauty of this is that you have 4 inputs and 2 outputs and complete control over which of those inputs is being displayed on the outputs at any given time, again using the buttons on the front of the unit, the included remote control, or even through a direct connection to your computer if you choose to do it that way. And it really is just that simple to get it working. I hope you found this overview of the OREI UHD-402MV 4K Video Matrix Switcher helpful. It really does provide an incredibly simple solution for allowing you to connect the output from 4 different HDMI media devices to 2 high-definition or ultra-high-definition monitors at the same time, while still providing complete control over which of those outputs are displayed on each of those monitors at any given time by using the buttons on the front of the unit, the infrared remote control, or through a direct connection to your computer. And the fact that the unit is both HDMI 2.0B as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant means it'll work with all of your modern media gear. It also provides audio extraction capabilities for both of the outputs, so you can share that audio with a soundbar or home stereo for better quality audio. Finally, you can select each input individually for display in the monitor, or you can use the multi-screen button to display multiple inputs at the same time on a single monitor. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks again for watching.